Good morning, Justin Equinedge. Mandatory Monday. Gulfstream Park every Monday. I think I got three more, or maybe two more after this. This might be uh the third. What do we got? 8 minutes to post. So let's start rolling. I don't know if I'll get through this whole thing, so we might have to come back and take a little break. We'll call race one probably again. We've been doing that the last couple times, but let's jump in. We should be able to get through the first probably five races. Um, in general, it's like one of those days. Is it gonna be chalky chalk or is it gonna be like craziness? And I'm not sure yet. I really am not. But let's talk through it. Um, State Bread main special kick off the card. Lord Henry gonna be a heavy favorite. The win percent showed this race is wide open. Um, the one could be a single. I think I probably would pass as the single. But as I said, this could be like chalk, chalk, chalk the first three races. It wouldn't surprise me. Romps on the race sim, wins by what? Nearly 5 lengths. We saw one of those runners yesterday, the second to the last race on the card. Lord Henley romps here, 1-2. You know, I was 1-4-7-3. Take that for what it's worth. I mean, if you don't like the one we always talk about, cut it. 7-4 right there. But you look at Lord Henry. I mean, second time out, or seen it for EUs, or you can see my notes here. Anytime you see a little orange yellow dot there, that there's a note. I mean, this horse ran second last time out versus similar group, and you look. I mean, the 3 hasn't really done much running. The 4 hasn't done much. 4 gets to the turf for the first time for Cassie. Maybe can improve. Reyes rides, riding really well. Imperious Agenda, the firster for Barbosa. I like that firster over the 6. You can see the 6 not really taking money, but let's. I mean, one, you'll see my sheet. I'll drop it. I mean, maybe it's a single, maybe not. I don't know, But I didn't necessarily love it's going to be chalk. The second race, 6-2-3, or sorry, 6-3-2. 6 might be a single. I don't really like Nina Star, the 5. Edwin G rides the 6. Gonna be heavy, heavy chalk. It should be able to get the lead or sit right off and take over. There really is not much here. Sprinting on the Tapeta. Draws off here at the stretch. Nobody, I do like the Exacta. Maybe even the try and the pick. 6 over the 2-3. Looks good. Not sure what type of price. I'm not sure. I didn't understand the morning line on the 1 at 2-1. So that might help in an Exacta bet. But if I don't think I even play the early pick 5. I probably just play I think I'll give the pick 6 a shot, but might play the Exacta here, 6 over the 2-3, 6 in a try. See what type of odds we can get there. I thought that if I was to single, I'll probably single here the 6 here, the 4 in race 5. We'll talk about race 5 shortly. But Bondelay might just be the speed here. Second time for Chavez. Evan Gonzalez rides. He's great on pace runners. This horse really improved last out. Got loose on the lead. And again, he might just get the lead over the Figueroa here on the 5. Hey, this is just not a great horse, I thought. And, probably needs the lead. Look what happened. Couldn't get the lead here at a similar level. Got the lead here and ran well. But there's going to be a lot of pressure. If it falls apart, 2 or 3 going to be coming. That's what I like in the Exacta. So, race 3, they're still in the paddock, so perfect. Race 3, yeah. This is I don't really know how I'm going to play the pick 6 yet, for you all, honestly. Like, the 2 might just be a single. This is not a good group, you all. It's really not. There's enough speed going 2 turns on the Tapeta that the 2 horse, I think, could just sit the trip. The 2's on the drop. You can see he's coming from the strongest strength of race. These are always situations where a horse, like a Flying Chief, also could be a player. But this race is a little bit tough because it's such a rough group. Are we gonna get kind of chaos to happen, and some craziness happens, or does the 2 kick off the pick 6? This was one of my potential singles. I'll talk about 3 of them. They could sit the trip. Leading rider Diego Herrera rise from Mechanics. They're dropping 6 points. This was a much tougher group. Lost by 10 lengths. But you look back here, I mean, the horse started out its career on the Tapeta. It didn't run here from the one post, but I think you could probably forgive this effort. And you look, what, 5 back. I mean, the horse ran a good race, lost by 4 lengths. That was a much tougher group. Hasn't gone on the way off. Has had some just kind of trouble, but gets Diego today. Diego rode 2 back, so he comes back to ride. I mean, this horse is the likely winner I had on top. If you're spread, it's 8-5-1-6. The one maybe can improve. I didn't like the 7. I do like the 6 at a bomb, because if this horse can run anything back to this race here and show speed, if they get loose, this Josbin Santana might get his first win. I mean, it's a crazy angle, but this might be I might start the pick 6 as a single with the 2. I have it on top. They also, you see, Flying Chief the second as a firster. I mean, these are races where maybe this firster for Kent Sweezy, watch the board on what happens here. I think the 2 going to take a lot of money with the even money morning line, but watch the 8, see if this horse takes some action. Might be live from that perspective. Let's keep rolling. We'll try to get through the pick 5 at least. I thought this race was wide open. Non-winners a 2, claimer 10K. The win percent showed this thing is wide open. We'll watch the race sim as the horses head out to the track. It says a minute to post, but a Tropical Turf pick 3 starts in the first race if you have interest there. 2 Joey just broke the maiden. Comes right back to face this group. It's not necessarily anything super talented. There's not a lot of speed here on the main track. Are the 2 and 3 going to be able to sit the trip? They are coming from much tougher races for the 2 and 3 than obviously the 4 after just broken its maiden. 4 going to take a lot of action, but I thought you could beat this horse. 4-2-5-3. Not a single for me in the pick 6. It's always tough to come back, and now jumps up 12 points in strength of race. Noble Prince been facing similar, running okay, not great. Faced a tough, big group last out. But Spirit of the Law for Palmer. This horse fits. And then Taparino, I think, is a live long shot for Jenna. I mean, you'll see here. If you toss this last out to Peta after it gets back to the main track, I mean, look, 3 back, almost 1 at this level, stocking the pace. So could get a very similar trip today. But even if we add the 1 and 7, the pace is a big question here for me. And, that can be on the main track, can really favor speed like that. But that on the track, 0 minutes to post. Let me talk about race 5. We'll see how far we can get through here. It's a short field. There's only 4 horses. I liked Image on the front end. You get a nice GSR and has speed. Doesn't, increase the lead from first to the second call. The Safi runner wheelhouse is going to be a massively short price. This is where I would look at potentially singling. This might be it. We talked about the 2 in race 3, but this just might be Safi. The horse is dropping, and you might say, well, so is the 7. We'll look at the 7. I don't think the 5 really has a shot. I don't think the 5 has a shot at all. But if we look at the 4, I mean, it's 0 for 12. I get it. But look, I mean, second time Safi, he dropped to, Safi does a great job placing his horses at the right level, dropped to a 44, 25K maiden claimer. The same thing today. He does end up on the turf, but the GSR Plus is, it definitely, his horse is a sprinter. It definitely might prefer the dirt. But horses like this can win on the turf. It did run on the turf, but you look at these efforts. I mean, look, here in a 52 on the dirt back at the championship meet, nearly won. Then he takes over, and they come right back off the layoff. Kind of sits the trip here versus 7-horse field. Second best, loses by, drops 2 points. We talk, Dave Duncan, Racing Downwind, does Equinedge user, talks about to subtract your strength of race. He has a 2-point drop, but only lost by a length and 3/4, I mean, that puts this horse completely in the mix. It really does. So I didn't really love King of Crowns, mainly just because this horse has no speed. I know it's going to be coming, but I honestly think it comes up short. So I'm 4 with maybe the 2 on the lead. I mean, the 2 might get the lead and be dangerous up front with the apprentice Pedro Pena. So, I don't know yet. But that's well, there we got through the first 5. Let's I'll call this first race, and then we'll jump back in and we'll cover the last 3 races of the pick 6. I appreciate you all for joining. Happy Monday. Gulfstream Park. I like that they moved to Monday. Not just for my handicapping and jumping on here with you all, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to have some Monday racing. The pools have been great as well. Lord Henry, heavy favorite to kick it off. 8 race card today. Gulfstream Park, great weather down there, it looks like. But we got a 6-horse field here. We had a scratch of Win Jet Win, the 2-horse. We jump back here for the race sim. I'll kick it off as they get ready to go. We'll call the race. Currently have Caribbean Comet, a firster for Patrick B. and Cone, followed by Furious Agenda, the firster to the far outside, the 7-horse. But you can see they're out off the rail there in the middle of the turf course. The rail is way inside. I think it's at about 17 feet. But they're starting in the middle of the turf course there. Are they all loaded? They look to be, we got they off to the lead up front. Looks like Slew de Oro trying to get there, but on the rail, Lord Henry trying to hold a spot with Mr. Edwin Gonzalez, always aggressive, drops back into second. Slew de Oro with Pedro Pena swings far wide, but clears off. Slew de Oro up front. Edwin Gonzalez on Lord Henry, the heavy favorite, running second, followed by More Power to You in third. And back in fourth and fifth, you have 2 runners. Down on the rail, the 7th King, followed by Furious Agenda, the firster, and way in the back, not even on the screen, is Caribbean Comet. 23 1/5 second first quarter. Slew de Oro with the apprentice Pedro Pena out front, but Edwin Gonzalez coming to challenge. Heads the leader, takes over. Lord Henry on the front end as they approach the far turn. Slew de Oro drops back to second, followed by More Power to You, who takes over second place. Slew de Oro back to third, and Fierce Agenda now takes over third place and racing in between the 7th King. But up front, as they hit the top of the stretch, Lord Henry. Edwin Gonzalez followed on the outside by More Power to You, who's about a length and a half off. But Lord Henry is extending the lead up by about 2 lengths. Running into second, the firster, Furious Agenda. Lord Henry wins the first easy. Furious Agenda runs second, followed by More Power to You in third. All right, y'all. Back to mandatory pick 6. We covered, if you just joined, we already covered race 2. Bondole could be tough. There might be a couple others if the pace falls apart. The 2 and 3, I do like the 6 over the 2-3 trifecta or the 3-2 trifecta. Talked in the pick 6. 2 might be a single. This is a really bad group. There is some pace up front. It might come back. The 2 might just beat this group on the drop. But if not, you're spreading here. And in race 4, thought this was a tough race between the 4-2-5-3 and race 5. Right before that first race, we had covered race 5. Wheelhouse looked like a potential single to me for Safi. Improved last out at this level. First off the layoff, this horse in a short field should be right there. The 2 could get loose, but Wheelhouse has run well at this level where the others have not. The 2 never got the lead though. The 7 been trying, facing tougher, hasn't done much. So 5 not a player there. Let's talk the last 3. The 6th race, feature of the day for sure. They're running a state bred stakes on a Monday, the summation stakes. A lot of action going to be on Sum of Success. I thought that this was a pretty wide open main track stakes race though. I like to use GSR for 2-year-olds, and you can see there's a bunch of well-bred horses. I think there's a lot of speed here. Some of success is going to have speed from the inside and outside is my concern. If that horse doesn't get the lead or takes a lot of pressure, it can be beat, was my perspective. Um, I would be using a handful here. I don't really like the 4 in order. I was 16523. I like the 1 with the speed, Boyhood Dream, down on the rail for Ramsey. Second time out has it. Miguel Vasquez Rise. They do great at 26%. It's a Kenneth Ramsey horse. It's bred well. They get a 16-point increase to the dirt. American Roadster for Santiago. I'm not sure. But be 165 if narrow. You can add the 3 as the chalk. But I think you got to find a spot to beat some chalk today, whether it's in race 5, race 2, race 3, race 5, or race 6. And then you look at Spicy Taco for Ramirez, 1 first time out, stocked the pace, and it's smoking the same for Minguet. This horse won at 30-1, but a really strong GSR. I mean, these are all really nicely bred 2-year-olds. You got a Roadster, an Uncle Chuck, a win-win-win, and then another Uncle Chuck. So a couple Uncle Chucks, another Roadster, right? So 2 Roadster, 2 Uncle Chucks. So state bred stakes for 2-year-olds. I know a lot of people like the 3, but I didn't try to beat today in the pick 6. Race 7. I'll drop my sheet, and I might. I honestly, I don't know really what to do with the 1 and 3 is the biggest thing. I like the 5 because on the main track here, this horse gets such an easy lead, and when you have 2 firsters, especially one on the rail. I thought Hello Poochie Lou might get loose for the apprentice Pedro Pena. And if that happens on the main track, could run them off their feet. The firsters run okay on the race sim. The GSRs are all wide open. The 7 comes running, Lady Rockala. But the 5 horse, I mean, look at that. Gets, about a 3-length lead? Not quite. I guess 2.5 length lead and keeps it at about 2.25 lengths. And then up by about 2 lengths at the stretch, and nobody really comes. So I thought Hello Poochie Lou was an interesting long shot versus this group. It allow you to spread in those beginning races to try to beat some favorites, and you get a 4 to 5-1 price. So I put that horse on top. If not, I'm spread here. So again, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do today, but I'll drop the sheet. I'll let you all figure it out, and I wish you all luck. The last race I thought was I didn't have a huge opinion here. Defiant Last, I will tell you, I do like the 5 and 7. I think that both of those horses, from a GSR perspective, fit here. I realize I got to put some notes in there, but I would be 5 deep in the pick 6. All right, y'all. We reached the end of the racing week at Gulfstream Park. Good luck today if you're playing the mandatory pick 6. It sounds like they're expecting close to $500,000. Another great pool. And press your opinion today. Find that single. I'll drop the sheet for you all. Let you know my final thoughts. I'll get it up here in the next couple minutes. But good luck. We'll be back next Saturday. Have a great week. Chat soon.